السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدى هدى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة دلالة وكل دلالة في النار. Once again, all praise is due to Allah. I magnify Him and I glorify Him. And there is none that deserves to be worshipped other than Him, Jallu fi Ula. And I bear witness that Muhammad al-Amin, al-Sadiq al-Masduq, better known as Abu Qasim, alayhi salatu taslim, was the last and seal of messengers to guide mankind from the darkness into the light. And on yawm, the topic for today, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, is a topic that I've been thinking about for a while based upon some interactions over the many years that I've been Muslim now. And recently it reared its ugly head once again. We are talking about pride and arrogance. Pride and arrogance. التعذير من الكبر. الكبر وقعود الكفر. That pride or arrogance, it is the fuel of disbelief, ya ikhwan. To be arrogant, to challenge Allahu Jalla fi Ula. We look at the situation, my dear brothers. Don't be like the devil, Iblis. He was arrogant. In 1992, ya ikhwan, 1 year after embracing Islam, after becoming a Muslim, I purchased the Sahih al-Bukhari of Imam Muslim, rahmatullah alayhi. 9 volumes in English. And I read that over the summertime while I was working at a gas station. This is the path that I went on there. It got me to where I'm at now. Reading Sahih Bukhari, I didn't understand the whole thing. I didn't understand much, but I absorbed a lot of information, ya ikhwan. And in there, ya ikhwan, there's many beautiful hadith that if you were to practice it, it'll make your life easy. So ya Ikhwan, I came across some hadith back then, and I attended the Jummah khutbah back in 1992, and after the khutbah was finished, I waited for the illustrious Imam at that particular time, and I went to the Imam and I pulled him aside away from the people, and I said, Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Prophet said, Kada wa kada wa kada. The Prophet said such and such and so and so. This particular Imam, he got very upset, his face turned red, and he said words, ya Ikhwan, that 30 years later till today is still stuck in my head. The words of this particular Imam at that time, I'm more knowledgeable than you. How dare you correct me? I'm more knowledgeable than you. How dare you advise me? The Prophet ﷺ said, Ad-dina nasiha, ad-dina nasiha, ad-dina nasiha, qulna liman, Ya Rasulullah, qala lillahi, wa li kitabihi, wa li rasulihi, wa a'immat al-muslimin, wa ammatihim. The Prophet said that sincere advice or sincere application is first for Allah, then it is for the Book of Allah, then it is for His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is sincere advice to the Imams and to the general population of people. I can advise you, you can advise me, he can advise him, you can advise, we can all advise one another, ya Ikhwan. Our religion is sincere advice. And from that time, ya Ikhwan, it has happened a few more times in my lifetime. Back, ya Ikhwan, in the year 2016 again, I was discussing what is known as al-masail al-fiqhiyya, an issue of fiqh with a brother. And the brother said, I have more knowledge than you, brother. And his Imam was sitting beside him. And his Imam said to him at that time, whoever says that they're knowledgeable, they're actually ignorant. So, ya Ikhwan, we are in need of knowledge, like we mentioned last week, my dear brothers. So when we look at it, ya Ikhwan, Allah Ta'ala, Qala Allah Ta'ala, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Allah Ta'ala says, إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُسْتَكْبِرِينَ. Allah Ta'ala says He does not like those that are arrogant, those that are mustakbir, ya Ikhwan. He does not like those that are pride and they're boastful, ya Ikhwan. And the Prophet said, لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من الكبر. The Prophet said, he will not enter into the paradise, even if he has a speck of kibr in his heart, ya Ikhwan. So now the question comes, what is arrogance? What is kibr? The Prophet ﷺ, ya Ikhwan, when they asked him, they said, O Prophet of Allah, verily a man, he likes that his clothes are hasanan, they look good, they're beautiful. And his shoes are hasanan, they look good, they're beautiful. And the Prophet ﷺ corrected them on the spot, ya Ikhwan, and he said to the particular person, and this is the point that we want to get to, ya Ikhwan, this is the maqsood minhu. The Prophet went on to say, anybody ever tells you that you're arrogant, ya Ikhwan, let's look what the Prophet said. He said, Al-kibr, batil haqq, wa ghamd nas. The Prophet said that kibr is rejecting the truth. Somebody brings you ayat from the Book of Allah, somebody brings you hadith sahih, and you say, I'm not with that, man. I got some other program going on. This is kibr, ya Ikhwan. You reject the truth from Allah and His Messenger, and then you think you're better than everybody. You look down upon the people like you are God's gift to mankind. This has become a sickness, ya Ikhwan, amongst the ummah. The only station that we should try to obtain in our life, the manzila, is the manzila of being Abdullah, ya Ikhwan. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Inshallah, brothers, come forward, inshallah. Nobody cares. I want to see how much you love the Muslims. I don't care how much you can quote Quran and Sunnah. Let me see you practice what you preach, ya Ikhwan. As we know, the Prophet said, he is, ya Ikhwan, the best example. إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I have not been sent except for to establish the best character, ya Ikhwan. So you can imagine an imam, I am more knowledgeable than you. Ya Ikhwan, where did we see this before? They asked Musa alayhi salatu taslim, who's the most knowledgeable? And he said, I am. What did Allah Rabbul Izzah do? He sent someone that had some different knowledge. And this is the information here, Ya Ikhwan. When we look at the situation, the poets in Islam, they have a line of poetry, Ya Ikhwan, where it says, Alimtu shay'an wa jahilta ashya. Alimtu shay'an. I knew some things, wa jahilta ashya, but I was ignorant of many things. Ya Ikhwan, we are so ignorant of the religion of Allah. We know less of the religion than what we should know, Ya Ikhwan. We're very ignorant, all of us, Ya Ikhwan. We need to study this religion. Again, Ya Ikhwan, I met another Imam, 2016. I went to the brother and I tried to give the brother salams. This particular Imam, because, I grew up in the streets, he's always trying to do some jokes or something, slap me a high five or something. When I go to give him the salam, I put my hand out and he goes like this with his hand before he gives me the salams. I say, Akhi, al-musahafa, shaking the hand of your brother. The Prophet said that when you shake your hands of the brother, the sins of your brother falls off. And this so-called Imam was making fun of me. And I told him this hadith. And he said, what? I am more knowledgeable than you. He said this, Ya Ikhwan, one of the biggest masjids. It was a private discussion. I was whispering to the brother. Only him and me could hear. And he decided, I am more knowledgeable than you. Because he has a big following. Al-Kibr, Ya Ikhwan. So we look at it, Ya Ikhwan, Al-Kibr wa qul al-Kufr. That pride and arrogance. It is, Ya Ikhwan, the fuel to disbelief, my dear brothers. This statement, Ya Ikhwan, where have we heard something like this before? We find that Shaitan, and this is qawlu Shaitani, Ya Ikhwan. Shaitan, he said, Lanatullah alayhi, Qala ana khayru minhu, khalaqtani min ma wa khalaqtuhu min teen. Shaitan, Lanatullah alayhi, went on to say concerning Nabi Adam, he said, I am better than him. You created me from fire and you created him from dirt. Thinking that you're better than someone else, Ya Ikhwan, it is a disease, Ya Ikhwan. Let me ask you a question, my dear brothers. When we go into the grave, are the angels going to ask us about our PhD? Are the angels going to ask us about our Mercedes-Benz? Are the angels going to ask us about our $3 million home that we have? The answer is no, brothers. We're going to be asked 3 questions. We said them before. Who is your Lord? Who is your prophet? And what is your religion? Everything else, Ya Ikhwan, it doesn't matter, Ya Ikhwan. While we're living on this earth, our only goal is to be Abdullah. Anything else after that in terms of providing for our family, your Jews, permissible. You want to be a doctor? MashaAllah. You want to be an engineer? MashaAllah. You want to be anything in this dunya that it permits, Ya Ikhwan? MashaAllah. Go ahead, khudh. But the question comes, brothers, are we competing with Allah? Many Muslims, they're of this opinion that when people come into the room, they expect people to stand up. And the Prophet said, when I come in the room, don't stand up, Ya Ikhwan. Allah Ta'ala goes on to say, Al-Jabbar al-Mutakabbir. Allah, He has the sifat of being the irresistible, the justly proud, Ya Ikhwan. Allah, He is Al-Jabbar al-Mutakabbir. These are the attributes of Allah, Ya Ikhwan. So for us, we need to get rid of this thing in our heart where we think that we're better than everybody else, that we're God's gift to everybody, Ya Ikhwan. We're brothers to one another. We aid one another. We help one another. We support one another. None of us are more important than the other in the sight of Allah Azza wa Jalla in terms of, Ya Ikhwan, in terms of us being people that worship Allah Azza wa Jalla. A person can worship Allah for many years, and they look like they're a great worshiper. But the question is, were they worshiping Allah, or are they worshiping to be seen by the creation that they're worshiping Allah? We talked about ikhlas, Ya Ikhwan. So we find, my dear brothers, pride will get you fried, Ya Ikhwan. Being prideful, being boastful, Ya Ikhwan, it is a very, very serious thing, my dear brothers. So when we look at it, my dear brothers, once again I was at that conference and met a brother. And he was going about how much knowledge he knows, how much he memorized. He memorized this and he memorized that, and he memorized this and he memorized that. And the attitude of the brother was like, SubhanAllah, you guys should be happy that you're amongst my ranks, that I have so much knowledge. And a brother came to him and said, brother, we didn't come to the conference to see you. We came to see the ulama. The scholars that came, we came to see them, not just a regular brother like you. And mashallah, brothers, we're all regular brothers. No matter how high you ascend in this dunya, ya ikhwan, we're just brothers. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ. If you have some issue with your brother, then make reconciliation. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لكم وسائر المسلمين من استغفروه وغفور رحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين لا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. The other day, I received a WhatsApp message from a brother. The brother had sent me something, and I said, I don't really, like what you sent me. The brother got very upset. And he inferred, he said, some people are walking around here like they're the elitist people. I said, no, bro, I just don't like listening to that. Jazakallah khair. Barakallahu feekum. So here's the thing, ya ikhwan. There's something called ilm al-nafi'. If you didn't get any benefit out of the khutbah today, understand these 2 points. There's ilm al-nafi' and ilm la yanfa'. There's beneficial knowledge that will get you close to Allah. Allah said, His Messenger said, things that will help you to be more obedient to Allah. And ilm la yanfa'. What importance is it, ya ikhwan, how many points LeBron James scored? Or how many points Messi scored? Or how many awards did this person win? This is ilm la yanfa'. It's not important. It's not going to get us closer to Allah. How much money did Elon Musk make last year? How much money did Bill Gates make last decade? These is all ilm al-yanfa', non-beneficial knowledge. So when we look at the situation, my dear brothers, when you humble yourself, Allah will raise you. And I've seen this many times. He will elevate you. The Prophet ﷺ went on to say, وَمَا تُعَطَى أَحَدٌ لِلَّهِ إِلَّا رَفَهُ اللَّهُ. And none humbles himself. A person who humbles himself, Allah will raise him high. And in my lifetime, ya ikhwan, I've seen this, but I'll give you one example. One of the brothers that I studied some Islam with over the years, I listened to his tapes, I attended some of his conferences. Some of the brothers, they went overseas to study for 2-3 years, picked up a little bit of Arabic, came back, and then they started saying in the community, the sheikh is not really a sheikh. The sheikh is not really a sheikh. And the sheikh said, you're right. I'm not a sheikh. I'm just a regular Abdullah. Years later, one of the great sheikhs on earth from Yemen, Sheikh Muqbil, he passed away. But before he passed away, he came to the same city where this brother, this imam was. And he used to come while he was getting his cancer treatment. And the sheikh used to sit and listen to his khutbah because he's the imam, he speaks English. After the imam, he stood up, he said, he is our imam. The imam from Yemen came and he said to the people in the community, he goes, this is our imam. So the brother humbled himself in front of the people, and another really knowledgeable sheikh came and raised him up and said, no, he's qualified. So it shows you, my dear brothers, that everybody has a manzila, a station, ya ikhwan. And our station, no matter how high we get up, how respected we are, under Allah Azza wa Jalla, ya ikhwan, we are just servants of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So my last hadith, my dear brothers, it's just something that, ya ikhwan, the Prophet went on to say, and this is the reality, ya ikhwan. Put anything in your imagination. This hadith hits it on the spot. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن حق على الله أن لا يرفع شيئا من الدنيا إلا وضع. وكما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Prophet said, indeed, it is the right upon Allah that nothing in the life or in this dunya is raised, but Allah, He lowers it. You can think of anything in your mind. People, buildings, governments, civilizations. Anything that is raised, it'll be lowered. Why is that, brothers? And this is why we have to come back to the basics. When we stand and we say, Allahu Akbar, many Muslims, they don't know what Allahu Akbar really means. It is Ismul Jami' ya ikhwan. Allahu Akbar min kullu shay. Allah is greater and bigger than everything and everyone. And the Muslims, they don't understand, ya ikhwan, they be in the salah, and I've seen this with my eyes. When people, ya ikhwan, in the salah, ya ikhwan, the phone rings, or they're sitting in the back of the masjid while the khutbah is going on and they're sending a text. This is the time that all of our sins can be forgiven from last week to next week, ya ikhwan. And I've seen people get on the phone in the Jummah, I'm listening to the Imam, I'll call you back. I've seen brothers in the salat, making salat. I'm in salat, wife, I'll call you back. Ya ikhwan, Allahu Akbar min kulli shay. Allahu Akbar min kulli shay. All of us brothers, we're standing in front of Allah. Why? Why do we get up and worship Allah? Because He is great and we are nothing. So my dear brothers, this is the khutbah for today. Be careful of that statement, Ana khayrun min. I'm better than him. I'm more knowledgeable than him. I'm more richer than him. I'm ananiya, they call it, ya ikhwan. Myself. This is not the dawah of the Anbiya. This is not the dawah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He called to Allah. That's what we need to do, brothers. We need to be good worshippers of Allah, sincere worshippers of Allah, and people who love Allah and His Messenger more than anything else. هذا ما عندي وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. My dear brothers, be careful of the disease, amrad al-qulub, known as al-kibr. Anybody can be advised, but with manners, ya ikhwan. Advise your brother, pull him to the side, bring him for a sandwich, take him for a coffee, ask him how he's doing, is he working, is his family okay, is his wife okay, is his mother okay. Find out if he has any issues first, and then advise him with qawlin layyin and a good, gentle word. With that, aqim as-salat wa yarhamukallah.